We're going to review a little bit of adding and subtracting integers before you get started with your assignment for today. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Remember, when we're adding integers, one of the big keys for adding integers is that we need to think about magnitude. Remember, every number has movement and magnitude. And movement is indicated by the sign of the number, whereas magnitude is simply the value of that number, the distance of that number from 0. So let's take a look at an example like positive 4. Positive 4 has movement, which is indicated by the symbol, the positive symbol. The positive symbol tells us that the movement of 4 will be to the right. So it will be to the right of 0. We'll start at 0, move to the right. And how many will we move to the right? Well, that's indicated by the magnitude. Its magnitude is 4. So we're going to move to the right 4. Okay, now when we're looking at movement and magnitude, that is very important when we're adding and subtracting integers. So for us to add integers, let's just get a couple examples down here. We might be adding a positive integer with a positive integer, such as 3 plus 6. Positive 3 plus positive 6. As we look at this, we go, okay, well, they're both positive, so my answer should be positive. How positive? Well, we take the look at the magnitudes. The magnitude of positive 3 is 3. The magnitude of positive 6 is 6. Add them together, 3 and 6, give us 9. So our answer would be positive 9, or you could simply write 9. Now, we might have a situation as well where we're adding, say, two negative numbers together, such as maybe, how about negative 4 and negative 5. In this situation, I'm going to separate these out. In this situation, we would look at it and say, okay, the magnitude of both of my numbers are negative, so my answer will be negative when I add them together. How negative? Well, I got to look at the magnitudes. 4 and 5. 4 plus 5 is 9, so it will be negative 9. And we cannot list that as just 9. It has to be negative 9. That negative symbol has to be with it. Or we could be adding integers together in a situation in which we've got, let's say, a positive plus a negative, such as, like, let's say positive 6 plus negative 2. I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around my negative 2. And you might see positive 6 with the positive symbol or without. It just kind of depends. If you ever see that kind of situation, you go, okay, I got positive 6 and negative 2. How will I determine the sign of my number? Well, I got to look at the magnitude. 6, 2. Which has a greater magnitude? 6 does. So we're going to keep the sign of that number. So positive 6 has a larger magnitude. My answer will be positive. And then we got to look at our magnitudes again, but instead of adding them together, because we'll have some zero pairs formed when we put a positive and a negative together, we subtract those magnitudes, or we find the difference in the magnitudes. 6 minus 2 is 4, so our answer will be positive 4. Now that's kind of adding integers together, and we know how to do that well. And so when we got to subtracting integers, I asked you to rewrite your problems as addition. So let me just get a few examples here for you. We might have a situation where we're looking at positives and positives, such as 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4. Now, most people would look at this and go, 2 minus 4. I start with 2. Okay. I've got 1, 2. How do I take 4 from that? Well, that's where we need to add in some zero pairs. Now, I'm not going to model this. I'm going to rewrite the problem for us so that it makes more sense. I ask you to rewrite the problem this way. Leave the first number the same. Change everything else. So the minus sign becomes a plus sign. And the second number, which was positive 4, will become negative 4. Because positive 4 and negative 4 form a zero pair. which means that their net value is 0. So we're not actually affecting the value of our overall answer because we're forming a 0 pair. So it's actually just modeling it a different way. We end up with 2 plus -4. Well, now it's simple addition of opposite integers. We have +2, -4. The sign of the one with the larger magnitude we will keep. -4 has a larger magnitude. And then we take the difference in those two magnitudes. 4 minus 2 is 2, so our answer will be -2. So there's a situation where we have two positives and we're subtracting. What about two negatives? Let's try something along those lines. So how about -3 minus -6? In this situation, we will rewrite the problem as -3. That first number stays the same. Minus becomes a plus. -6 becomes a +6 because we form a 0 pair. So it doesn't affect the value. And now we have -3 plus +6. We look at that and go, oh, hey, the magnitudes are 3 and 6. 6 has a bigger magnitude, so we'll keep its sign. And we find the difference in those magnitudes. 6 minus 3, 3. So what looked to be a number that started off negative is now, oh, hey, this is actually positive. We might also have a situation where we have a negative minus a positive or a positive minus a negative, like where we have two opposite integers. So let's take a look at an example there. Let's say we've got +3 minus -4. In this situation, we'd rewrite it this way. 3, and then minus becomes plus. -4 becomes +4. And in doing that, -4 and +4 make a 0 pair. And we end up with 3 plus +4. Well, that would just be 3 plus 4, which is 7, +7. Or, and I'll just do this on the same page, we could have maybe a negative number minus a positive number, like -10 minus positive, how about +2? Well, we'd go ahead and rewrite this problem. -10 stays the same. Again, the first number will never, ever change. Everything else does, though. The minus sign becomes a plus sign, and +2 becomes -2. And in doing that, +2 and -2 make a 0 pair. So we're not affecting the value, we're just modeling a different way. We end up with -10 plus -2, so we start with 10 negatives and we add 2 more negatives to that. Our answer, -12. All right, so today you have a handout to complete. It has 2 front and back pages, but the problems are pretty spread out. They are multiple choice. What I want you to do is to answer those questions as best you can on the line provided. Don't just circle an answer, but actually put the answer on the line provided. And then when you are done with that and you've turned it into the tray, what I want you to do is this. You will go ahead and look for me at, I believe, let's see, we're going to look at getting into groups, and we will get the cards out. I have 3 decks. I also have the computer if you want to use the computer for some cards. If you just go to random.org, if you're using the computer, it'll bring up the cards, and we'll go to the card shuffler. Again, we're going to use ace through 10. You're going to draw out 2 cards from the deck, and again, just ace through 10, not the kings, queens, or jacks. And you will draw 2 cards, and instead of this time adding the values of those cards, what I want you to do is to subtract them. So what we would do is we would look at the cards and go, I have a red ace. Remember, red numbers or reds represented negatives, so we will take -1 minus, and then the second card that you pull out, 7 is black, +7. We'd look at that and go, I'm subtracting two integers. I need to rewrite this as an addition problem, so we would rewrite it as -1. So -1 does not change. I'll put both of those in parentheses, by the way. Plus, again, that comes from the minus sign. It changes. +7 becomes -7. And now when we look at it, we go, oh, I have -1 plus -7. Well, that would be -8. Or you might go ahead and draw again. So we'll do another draw. This time we have an ace of clubs and a 3 of hearts. My ace of clubs represents a positive number, so +1, minus the 3 of hearts is -3. Would rewrite it as 1 plus +3, because -3 and +3 make a 0 pair. 1 plus 3, oh yeah, that's 4. So when you get done with the worksheet, or the handout I should say, and you turn that handout in with your name on it, get into a group, 2 or 3 people, get a deck of cards, or you can use the computer as well, and what I want you to do is to complete a minimum of 20 of those, kind of like what we did the additions, and this is what I will do for you. If you complete a minimum of 20, I will give a value of bonus points for that. So if you complete it, bonus points are coming your way. If you don't complete it, don't beg me for bonus points at the end of the grading period, because I'm giving you an opportunity now. If there are any questions, please ask the substitute and they will get a hold of me. Thanks a lot. Have a good 3-day weekend, and we will see you on Monday.